Your worldview, you may or may not have heard this word before, as a brand, is the very unique way that you see the world and how you operate within it. So it's your beliefs, it's your values. And then also in this discussion, we're going to talk about how the world sees you. So let's get to it. Now, this section is incredibly important. So, you may have done exercises like this in the past, but it is absolutely worth it to revisit it because I'm going to take it a step further. And then it's the core and it's the foundation. It's the base of the pyramid for everything that we do moving forward. So, everything related to design and messaging and copywriting and business decisions, they all are born from these choices that you are going to make here and now. So, first of all, these are common brand values that I see in my experience with the girl or guy next door type. So, a value of hard work, balance, belonging, camaraderie, connection, community, etc. And I'm going to plant a seed here. So, the first step of this exercise is to narrow these down. And perhaps you may not even need to narrow this list down. You might need to first hit up the thesaurus and find some more words that feel even more true to your brand. But I've done the hard work. I've given you this starting place here so you can plug these exact words into the thesaurus to figure out what your top brand values are. And then next, the second step, once you narrow it down to 1, 2, or 3 of your top brand values as the girl or guy next door brand archetype, then what you're going to want to do is start to think about how that's actually going to show up in your business. And we're going to discuss this in more detail in the last video. But for now, just think about 1 or 2 of your type or your values. For example, accessibility. So if accessibility is one of your top brand values, what does that actually look like in your business? I'm guessing that your clients or customers are going to be able to contact you and have you reply in a short amount of time. So like your one-on-one clients may even have, a text relationship with you with your phone number. They have multiple ways to get a hold of you whenever they need to. And it's clear that you are going to be there and accessible for them when they need you. You may also scale your time by creating resources that you anticipate ahead of time that they'll need related to your product or service. So instead of you personally having to be accessible, you can create a plethora of resources and helpful guides or helpful tools or materials for them that creates that feeling of accessibility. So you can get creative with it, but start to make these connections as you see them, start to write them down, because those are the ways that your archetype is actually going to come to life in your business. So you can also see the values come to life in some of these point of view or belief statements. So these are common beliefs held by your archetype. You may or may not agree with all of them, but it's just a starting place to start thinking about your marketing messages, your copywriting, the things that you talk with your clients about on this deep emotional level instead of just talking about your product or your service. We need to really dive deeper so that we can create an emotional connection. So things like life isn't fair, sometimes evil people win, all men and women are created equal, we're better together, hard work is necessary. Ray Kroc says, in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And then here are some of my favorites from Pinterest that fit your archetype. I'm not interested in competing with anyone. I hope we all make it. Let's root for each other and watch each other grow. Embrace reality, even if it burns you, etc., etc. So this is some visual brainstorming that you can do as you're trying to narrow down your different values. You can use a tool like Pinterest or Google Images and look through what comes up when you put in some of these keywords and see what really tugs at your heart, what feels right for your business, what you could use as almost like a rallying cry to build your community. So your community's motto could be find humility even in success. And there's going to be many, many people who are seeking out a place like that where people aren't so full of themselves, they're not so worried about their own success, and they're more interested in helping each other grow. Next, let's look at your brand attributes. So this is how the world sees you. And again, the key first step here is to narrow down to the ones that feel best for you and feel best for your product or service and brand that you want to build. So things like collaboration, being grounded, you're an honest person, you're dedicated, you're practical, willing to work hard. All of these things are very they show up often in the different girl or guy next door archetypes. So I have a guide sheet, a worksheet in your guidebook called Hot or Not. So what you're going to do there for, you can do this exercise once for your values and once for your attributes if you'd like. Pair up sets of words. So one word against another. So if you really like cooperation and then you also like community, so you would put cooperation versus community and you would pick one with your gut. Which one feels better for your brand? And continue doing this. Pair up these words, pair up the winners until you get the top 1, 2, or 3 words that can serve as your filter, your decision-making filter as you move forward. Because as you know these themes that are going to show up over and over and over and over in your business, you can literally put a Post-it note on your computer that has these words on it to help you write, to help you do a gut check to make sure that the stuff that you're putting out into the world and that you've already published in the world is on brand for you once you have a tool like this to check it against.